I am here today at Broadway Bar and Grill in Point Pleasant Beach with Linda, whose family owns the Broadway. All right, so Linda, for anybody that doesn't know, how long has Broadway Bar and Grill been in your family?
Broadway Bar and Grill has been in our family for 35 years.
Wow. What's the backstory? What was Broadway before you guys bought it?
Broadway was Neely's Long Bar, and we purchased it in January 1990, and the Broadway opened in January 1991.
All right, so you hit 35 years this month.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
What was Neely's like before this?
Neely's was, as they told me, it was a blood bucket. And the first time I brought a band into Broadway Bar and Grill, everybody was like, this is the first time people are dancing instead of walking over bodies. So they were blown out of the water with the whole. So my husband was a firm believer in leaving everything open. So when we started taking the bar apart, it literally smelled like dead bodies, which we were really afraid that was what might be back there. But all the fishermen stayed. We sectioned off certain areas so that they could work behind the scenes, and the rest is history. I mean, I remember putting up fake ferns, and I said to the fishermen, I said, "You think these are going to be in your way?" And they looked at them and they said, "No, only when they start to grow." So I was like, "Oh, I got a great audience here because they're fake plants," but they didn't realize that at the time. Through the years, they are the salt of the earth.
The fishermen?
Oh, they are fabulous people.
So that was like the clientele in the beginning?
In the beginning.
Yeah.
Everybody still thinks it is, but it's not. It's your plumber, it's your carpenter, it's your electrician. And they all get mad at us, my sons and I, because we don't use them. We don't use them because they're here at 7 in the morning having a few pops before they go on their job, you know? So I said, I'm sorry, guys, I have to use, professionals that don't come in and drink. As much as I love you and I'm happy to have the business, I can't.
I will say, though, I feel like you could come in here on any day and you'll find a connection for somebody. You'll be like,
without a doubt.
Somebody that works on roofs,
Yep.
everybody comes here.
Yep. In years past, I had a lot of off-duty nurses that we opened at 7 in the morning, so they would actually be here in their uniforms because their shift was 11 at night till 7 in the morning. So that was their after-work drink.
Yeah.
So it was very normal to see a lot of nurses sitting at the bar. So,
What was, do you know what it was before Neely's?
In the 20s, it was an ice house where they had blocks of ice.
Oh, wow.
And it was a seafood restaurant. It's been here forever. It definitely is haunted, without a doubt.
You think so? How come?
Oh, without a doubt. Because the first time I closed, and my husband had said, don't ever close by yourself. You always have to have the buddy system. And I said, well, I don't walk out with money. And he said, but nobody knows that, so you could get hurt, And I let everybody go home because I wanted to be here by myself. And I made a tragic mistake. I saw things, I heard things. I was never so scared in my life.
Wow.
And I called Brian, he goes, nope, you're on your own. You wanted to do that? And ever since that time, I always had at least 3 bartenders close with me. I did not want to be in here by myself.
Help you fight off the ghosts.
Yes. Yep.
So I remember when I first moved to Point Pleasant, my real estate agent, me and my family were unpacking, and we asked my agent, we're really hungry. We want burgers and wings. Where's a great local place? And that was the first time I've been to Broadway.
Oh,
she
right.
recommended it. We came here on moving day and just loved it ever since. I love the behind the bar. How long have you guys been doing that, the cooking behind the bar?
From day one.
Nice.
Yeah, from day one.
Yeah. I also love, they have the best Divi Tree espresso martinis. They use the espresso from Divi Tree, and it is the best espresso martini.
And the crazy thing about that is that everybody's drinking them.
Yeah.
You'll see a guy that comes in sweats, or a guy that comes in a suit or whatever. Everybody's got an espresso martini in their hand.
The only other thing I was going to say about the Divi Tree martini was Joe used to work here, one of the owners
Joe Teresi.
at Divi Tree.
Joe is Divi Tree because he worked here. I have a lot of very successful kids that started out here, either watching the parking lot, being a bar back, then a bartender, in every area of the Broadway, and they worked their way up. They saved a lot of money. One of my greatest bartenders became a foot doctor, and he's living the life now, you know, Greg Mazzata, and he used to sell fish out of here to China. He did everything that you could imagine. Everybody has something to say about the Broadway.
Love it.
Could you tell us a little bit more about like the early days and what made like the fisherman influence here? Like what started that, and why is it such like a fisherman's bar for that whole section of time?
I think our location, number one, I mean, we're right there.
Yeah, all the big fishing boats.
Yep.
Right over there.
And I bought in the beginning of the Broadway, when we started doing like a lot of seafood, I would literally buy the scallops of fish with the fishermen, either at the docks or they'd come in the back door. I always felt like I was doing a drug deal. I would take the scallops, put them on our scale, weigh them out, smell them. I mean, I learned so much from this community because of these fishermen.
Yeah, well, they could come right off the boat, come right
And they
here.
would come in here and they'd say, Linda, we got fluke, we got scallops. And I'd say, meet me out back, you know. And got to know them. And like I said, they're the salt of the earth. They work so hard, and I respect them, you know. I didn't know them before. I just thought they were fishermen, you know, they catch fish. But now they have a lot to do with this bar in the beginning, you know. And they still come in, but not like people think they do, because they always say it's a fisherman's bar. Well, it was, you know, and they come in, but it's not like it was.
Remembering that transition, how did it come about that the opportunity came to you and you decided to buy or make an offer? Was it up for sale?
It wasn't really up for sale. I know Barbara Neely wanted to get out of it because it wasn't good for Bernie and her kids to be in this business. Unfortunately, their business went down because of alcohol, you know, but it's a bar. And so as much as I understood what she wanted, I also understood her children and her husband, because she lost them because of this business. I don't know.
Approach them?
My husband always
Yeah.
had the foresight to
Yeah.
see. He took me in here, and I looked at him and I said, Brian, I've always been behind you. This place is a dump. I don't think it's going to do anything. I wouldn't even have a glass of water in here. And again, the rest is history. He could always foresee something, you know.
Turning into something great.
Every day was a story in here. I could see, I wasn't exposed to it when we bought it, but I could see where I heard stories from the fishermen, the fights that went on in here. Really bad fights. And like I said, all the clientele that we had were so happy that we didn't really clean it up. I don't know, it's like the last of the Mohican bars. It's an awesome bar, it's a fun place, and everybody that walks in here always feels comfortable. Like, I have women that will come in by themselves. This is the only bar they'll come and have dinner at the bar and feel like they're safe.
They know you're here to protect them.
Yeah, I'm here to protect them. I don't know. I love this bar.
I do too. The second I walked in here,
Yeah.
I loved it.
Whose idea was the popcorn?
To have it, that was right when we first took it over. We had a bartender here. Her name was Lori. And I think Lori and my husband both wanted to have a popcorn machine. So then we named it Lori Pop, because she had a lot to do with it. And then through the years, we had it forever. And then through the years, we had another popcorn machine over here that caught on fire 3 times. And at that point, I said, no more popcorn.
It's not safe.
Bring your own popcorn. You know.
What about like post-Sandy, like the renovations
Oh, yeah.
and that?
When my husband passed away, the boys and I took everything over, and it was a lot. And we did that and got through that, and then Hurricane Sandy came. And we had water up to the top of the bar, not on the bar, but right below there. We lost everything, including that cigarette machine, which I was very happy about because I hate cigarettes. But anyway, that was floating. It was in October, and we always do Guest Away to the Great Pumpkin at the Broadway, and it's literally a gift certificate to Broadway.
It's a humongous pumpkin, just sits there.
So
Huge.
this particular pumpkin was right around 300. And when I came in the building after Hurricane Sandy, this was all wooden floors. It was actually a ripple like this. I mean, the place was destroyed, and I couldn't find that pumpkin. I went to the back kitchen here, and in the corner of the back kitchen, this huge pumpkin was literally bobbing in water.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. It was awful, and I didn't really know what I was going to do. But I had such support. I'm going to get emotional because Hurricane Sandy was awful. Sorry. But the customers kept coming to me, coming to the bar, and saying, please don't get rid of the Broadway. Please don't sell the Broadway. Anyway, we did, and we cleaned it, and we were here for 6 to 9 months. We couldn't open because not only did they want me to keep the Broadway, they wanted to look the exact same way. So that's what we did, the tongue and groove and everything, and they came. And so many people got engaged in this bar that I had the bar stools outside, and they would come to me and ask me, could we have a bar stool? You know, and they were destroyed. And I said, of course, take whatever you want, you know.
Yeah, I heard that. I've
Yeah.
heard of people having a
So
old
many
bar stool.
people got engaged in this bar, and it meant so much to them. So we did it, and we opened, I can't remember the date, but when we opened, we were mobbed. It was like we had never been closed. And then we went into COVID and had to do the same thing, and they stayed. And so that's what kept me going. I could not give up this bar.
I remember that when you reopened, and that was, you know, it was like, how could you keep the feel of the Broadway
Yep.
Yeah.
after Sandy? And I was like, there's no way that they'll be able to pull that off.
So many
Yeah.
people completely renovate
And I was
differently.
like,
Yeah.
it was so great. It's pretty amazing that, so the original bar top
The original.
stayed. and
Well,
you
it
didn't get-
it did. It was pieced together though. It was, and then, well, I can't get into the company that came in here, but both my sons, Scott and Brad, had to redo the bar top. So we took all pictures, as you can see in there, of different streets in Maniloking, Bayhead, everything that got destroyed, and they're in the bar top. And the two of them did that, and they, you know, laminated it, and it took, I don't know how long it took to dry, but it was quite a process. So a lot of the pictures were gone, but we did different pictures for Hurricane Sandy, and we have pictures of the riptide in the back. Anyway, it's just, we just redid it for this community.
What's your history here? Of like, did you grow up down here? Did
Oh, like in
you-
Point
did you-
Pleasant.
When did
Oh.
you move?
I grew up in Princeton, Lawrenceville area till 5th grade, and then moved down to this area, because my grandparents had a house in Point Pleasant, and I loved Point Pleasant.
So you went to school in Point Pleasant,
I went to
graduated.
school. Yep,
Where did you graduate? What
Point
year?
Pleasant Borough. I'm not giving the year up. Sorry. Sorry, not doing it. Not doing it. My mother I lost my mother 2 years ago, and her saying was, age is just a number, and hers was unlisted, and I am following with that. We do not talk about age.
You met your husband here?
Mm-hmm. I met my husband here. He was always in the business. His family were always in restaurant businesses. And he had been working at the Old Time Tavern at the time. I met him. I never waitressed before in my whole life. I was in college, and then they said, all my friends said, you know, if you waitress, you make a lot of money. So I did it. I lasted 1 week. It was not my deal. It was just a hard business, and I don't want to be in it. Went into retail. I was a buyer in New York for Macy's, and then I did this. And this is even harder than that, but I love this. If you don't love this business, you can't be in it.
Yep.
What are some of your favorite things about this place and running it now in the business?
Well, most important are my customers. The hardest part of this business is the employees. But I joke around, but it's not really a joke. When they come in the morning, I take them out back, I whip them, and they're good for the whole shift. So it works out good. And everybody, all the other owners, right, Scott? All the other owners, everybody in town, like Chris from Amendment and Mort from they all say, what is the secret? Because your staff is so good. I said, they get whipped in the morning and they're good. And they look at me and they say, Linda, I think you're telling the truth. I said, I swear on the Holy Bible. I'm telling you the truth. It's a joke.
One of the things I always thought was cool was like after COVID, we were out on the side there.
Yes.
You had to move operations out there, and I remember when that opened up, you had the picnic tables out.
Yep.
Running food out there and stuff, so you can certainly talk about that, but we don't need to, whatever you guys think is best.
Yeah.
You know, that reaction to be able to mobilize and get stuff
Yeah,
outside.
I'm telling you, they still came. They still came. And all of us, everybody that worked here, including myself, we lost so much weight because we were killing it. We
Just
were
running.
just running in and out,
Inside,
running in and
outside.
out. And I'm not kidding you. Everybody said, this is the greatest thing. We lost so much weight. I said, I don't know about that. But it just made me believe how important this place is to this town.
And obviously, it's such like a vibe of the place in here. Like there's such a vibe to it, and like the old feel to it. When you guys bought it, was it like that already? Were you guys intentional about making it feel like this? Like how did that?
It kind of just happened. I mean, the Neely family did have a thriving business here and had, you know, it was in the Neely family for 75 years. I mean, there's a lot to be said about that. But it wasn't, you know, they didn't have entertainment here. They didn't really have food here. It was different. It was really a fisherman's bar, shot and beer place, blood bucket, you know. I was afraid of this place when we bought it. I really was. Every other place that my husband had bought, we did together, and I was okay with it. But this was tough, but it was really worth it.
What did you guys want to do with the place?
I think it was mostly Brian. He had all his ideas. He just wanted to make it a local bar that everybody, because our crowd is very diversified. We have just drinking age to 80-year-old people that come in here on Wednesday through Saturday, and they come in for the bands.
Great
you know?
music.
Great music. We have
Yeah.
great bands.
I have no voice because of the band on Saturday.
My one band, I was hoping that you would meet him today, Kevin, who
Yeah,
played
he's
Saturday
great.
night. He bartends here on Mondays and Wednesdays. He had texted me before I came downstairs and said he was sick. I said, "You're lost, Kev. You could have been on a podcast." You know?
Yeah, Kevin and From the Ground. Really
Yeah.
good band. Really
Awesome.
good local band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For someone that's out of town, like they live up in like New York, that hasn't been here before, how would you describe the Broadway to someone who's not from around here?
Well, believe it or not, people from New York and all over come to the Broadway. They come to the Broadway. We're known for our wings and our burgers, but mostly wings. And when I tell you people come from New York State, Pennsylvania, they come here to have an order of wings. It's mind-blowing to me because that's all they talk about is the wings.
This is the only place I'll eat the wings. I'm very picky. Yeah.
Is there what's particular about the wings here?
Well, I can't tell you that. I would have to kill you. There is a secret to it, but I really can't tell you.
What's your favorite thing on the menu that you guys have here?
My favorite thing is our burgers. We have really good burgers. And there's a secret to that, too.
Can't tell us.
Can't tell you.
And what's the story with like how you cook in the middle of the bar? How did that come about?
Really and truly, when we bought Neely's, there was a flat grill in that. We have a little overflow kitchen back here. And they were actually doing a little bit of food in the beginning, like doing burgers, like frying burgers. And then it was Brian's idea to put a grill behind the bar because people like to see their food being cooked.
The bartenders
Yeah.
are often the ones just sling
Yeah.
the burgers
Yeah.
between, you know?
They have
Yeah.
to be able to cook. Everybody here has to be able to cook, with the exception of me. And they all take turns. And we have one bartender in particular, Jason, who's been with me a long time. And he is so meticulous with his cooking that he actually brings in a doctor's leather bag with all his own utensils. And people call to find out when Jason is cooking because he's I only get my food from Jason. And the chef in the kitchen, Gil. He is amazing. They come in, they like to watch him cook
Cook and then make you a drink.
and make you a drink.
Yep.
Hours of operation.
Hours of operation are Monday and Tuesday, we open at 11 a.m. and close till business decline, which is usually around 12 on Monday and Tuesdays. But Wednesday through Sunday, it's 7 a.m.
Oh, it
till
is.
2 a.m. And you come in here on a weekend, a Saturday or Sunday. We have a bartender that works here, just does Saturdays and Sundays, Sean Scott. You can't even get a seat in here.
I heard Sunday there was no
It's
parking.
amazing. And again, it's not fishermen. It's us. It's all of us. It's all the locals. And they're really happy this time of year because the tourists kind of like go back to where they came from. So we get our town back for a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
It's fun.
Any other bits of history about the building or anything about the business?
Just, I don't think people realize how long this building's been here. I mean, it's over 100 years old. And when Hurricane Sandy hit, the town started to tell us that we were going to have to raise the building. If we were ever to have to lift this building, it would have disintegrated. We had to really work with them because nobody wanted this building to go, and we couldn't lift it. It would be impossible. It's a concrete, yeah.
I was just gonna say, did you guys put additions on it when you bought it or anything?
This, where the package is right now in the walk-in, that was the Neely's office. It was a little skinny office. My husband did do the second floor, our office up there, and he took this wall out, opened this up. You know, through the years, he did different things, not all at once, you know.
So you mentioned it was in the Neely's family for 75 years.
Mhm.
So was it Neely's Lawn Bar for that whole duration, or they own the ice?
I know it was in the Neely's family for a
Yeah.
long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Bernie's dad, Bernie Senior's dad, they ran it before him, or did he?
I don't know. That
Okay,
part I don't know. And I tried to look it up for you before we
Yeah.
did this,
Yeah,
and there's very little on it.
right.
Yeah.
But it was an ice house, and there was, at one time, it was a seafood restaurant, and there's like a rooftop thing that they did here that we tried a couple times to get the town, because we thought that would be awesome, to do like an oyster bar and be able
Yeah.
to see everything.
Try again.
But they're tough. They're
Yeah.
tough here. They have
It'd be
their,
great with the views and
Yep.
everything, you know?
yep.
I
Oh,
love
that's
that you have
that's a
one
good
bubble.
story to tell you. Everything was lost in Hurricane Sandy, but for some strange reason, that shuffleboard table stayed. And there's only one man, and I don't think he does it anymore, in New Jersey that does shuffleboards. The man redid everything for us, and he actually stayed overnight here for it to dry because he didn't want anybody touching it.
Oh, my God.
Protecting it.
It was incredible. And then he put the Broadway logo in the middle of the shuffleboard table. So it's back there now. But that was the one thing that did survive Hurricane Sandy. I just got it. I love this bar. And I'm here a lot.